Is your body tired even after sleeping 8 full hours? Do you wake up sweating, confused, or struggling to catch your breath? Have you ever heard of someone who went to bed perfectly fine and never opened their eyes again? These aren't just stories, they're signs, and whether you feel it or not, your body may already be showing them. So before you ignore that next nap or dismiss that sudden dizziness at 2 a.m., you better listen carefully. Because the problem starts when you don't even know it's there. And by the time you notice, it might already be too late. Let's talk about the truth. People over 60 are dying in their sleep, and most of them had no reported illness. No diagnosed heart disease, no advanced diabetes, no serious blood pressure condition. Yet still, they never woke up. That's not natural. That's not just age. That's a failure of the systems inside your body that you stopped paying attention to. And one of the first culprits is your heart. When you lie down flat, your heart works harder than it does while standing. Sounds strange, right? But it's real, because when you lie down, blood shifts to your chest cavity, and your heart has to adapt quickly, especially if it's weak. Now here's the danger. If your blood pressure drops too low, or spikes too quickly, between 2 a.m. and 5 a.m., your heart rhythm can shift, and if you've never done a 24-hour EKG, then there's a chance you don't even know your heart is misfiring at night. This is called silent arrhythmia. It's silent until it isn't. And when it speaks, it doesn't come with a warning. It comes with a stop. But don't think this is only about the heart, because your lungs are involved too. Have you ever heard yourself snore? Do you ever wake up gasping with your mouth dry and jaw clenched? Then there's a high chance you have sleep apnea. And sleep apnea isn't just annoying. It strangles your brain with oxygen shortages every night. What happens when your brain doesn't get oxygen for 15 seconds? It pulls your heart into panic mode. Now imagine that happening 40 times an hour every night for 10 years. Yup, that's what's killing people in their sleep. No warnings, no signs, just one more night, one more breath, one more failure. Now think about your sleep environment. Do you sleep in a hot room? Do you eat too close to bedtime? Do you take naps at random hours? Then you're training your circadian rhythm to collapse. And once it collapses, your body stops producing melatonin correctly. Melatonin isn't just for sleep, it's an anti-inflammatory, anti-aging cardiovascular protector. So if you're not producing it, you're aging faster, you're recovering slower, and you're not ready for the damage that comes at 2:30 a.m., when most natural deaths occur in seniors. That's not opinion, that's statistical data. The National Institutes of Health confirmed that death during sleep spikes in elderly patients between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. due to metabolic imbalances, cardiovascular stress, and autonomic nervous system shifts. Still think it's just a peaceful death? Let's break more of that myth. You think you're healthy because your last checkup was fine? What about your sodium-potassium balance? What about your magnesium levels, your liver enzymes, your kidney filtration rate? If you're not checking all of those regularly, then you're just hoping you're healthy. But hope isn't enough when your nervous system is too weak to pull your heart back from the edge during sleep. And now, let's hit the real enemy: blood sugar. Yes, blood sugar. Even if you don't have diabetes, you might still be crashing in your sleep. You eat fruit before bed, drink a glass of milk, or eat yogurt after 8 p.m., then you're raising insulin and risking a hypoglycemic drop at 3 a.m. And when your sugar crashes, cortisol rises, it hits your adrenal glands, then your heart, then your brain. This is what causes night sweat. This is what causes confusion when you wake. This is what causes that I don't feel rested feeling that never goes away. You're not tired. You're being damaged while you sleep. Now let's look at what kind of people are most at risk. If you're overweight, your neck circumference is likely over 17 inches. That compresses your airway. If you're skinny but eat high-carb snacks before bed, you're pushing your insulin into night crashes. If you have a history of anxiety, even mild, your autonomic nervous system can discharge adrenaline during sleep, causing heart skips. If you take medications like beta blockers, calcium channel blockers, or even allergy pills, then your heart rate variability may be too low to stabilize during REM sleep. And if you don't move during the day, your venous return stiffens, meaning your heart has to fight harder when you lay flat for 7 hours. These are not maybe risks. These are measurable, trackable, correctable problems. but only if you face them. So now ask yourself, how many nights have you ignored those tiny wake-ups at 3:14 a.m.? How many times did you dismiss dry mouth, racing heart, or heavy chest because you were tired? How many years have you gone without a full blood panel? Because if you're over 65 and you haven't checked your nighttime heart rate, breathing rhythm, magnesium, or cortisol, then you're not sleeping. You're dangerously resting with a system that may already be breaking. Yeah, that's the truth no one wants to say on camera. But I'm not here to sugarcoat. I'm here to get your eyes open, while they still can. So what can you do? You fix your schedule. You reduce your sugar. You remove all electronics from your bedroom. You test your nutrient. You use verified devices to track your heart rate, oxygen level, and breathing throughout the night. You stop thinking no symptoms means no problem. Because when it comes to dying in your sleep, there are no second chances. And the people who get second chances, they took prevention seriously before it ever became a crisis. Let's talk about your blood pressure first. Not the reading you get when you sit in the clinic once every 6 months, but the repeated fluctuations your heart and vessels go through, especially between 1 a.m. and 4 a.m. That's when your parasympathetic system should be in control, keeping your body calm, slowing your heart down, and letting healing occur. But if your arteries are stiff, if your blood is thick, or if your kidneys are under pressure, your system doesn't get to calm down at all. Now most people think, well, my blood pressure is controlled. But controlled when? In the morning? During lunch? Because night pressure is an entirely different issue. It's called nocturnal hypertension. And the worst part is, you don't feel it. Your body doesn't wake you up to tell you about it. Instead, your heart does all the work while you lie unconscious, until the muscle begins to wear down from the strain. And the kidney? Yep, the silent partner in this disaster. Your kidney handles pressure regulation through sodium and fluid balance. But by age 65, the glomerular filtration rate begins to decline steadily. That means your kidneys are not clearing waste like before and your fluid retention creeps up, raising your blood volume, raising pressure on your vessels, and straining your heart while it's supposed to be in recovery. Add in a high-sodium dinner or a glass of alcohol at night or even a delayed dinner after 8 p.m., and you've just made the entire overnight detox system fail to complete its cycle. Now let's get into the nervous system. Most people only think about the nerves when they feel pain, but your autonomic nervous system runs your heart, lungs, digestion, bladder, liver, and more, without you having to think about it. If you're over 60 and you feel hot at night, sweat more easily, or get dizzy when you stand up quickly, those are all signs of autonomic imbalance. And one of the most dangerous consequences, your heart rate won't adjust properly during REM sleep, which leads to blood pressure dips, irregular heartbeats, or skipped rhythms. Any one of those can trigger a sudden cardiac pause. Let's take it further. What about nutrient deficit? You're probably eating less than you did in your 40s, right? Smaller appetite, slower digestion. But your body's demand for magnesium, potassium, and B vitamins doesn't go down. And if you're taking diuretics for blood pressure, guess what? Those pills strip you of magnesium and potassium. That's a recipe for electrical instability in the heart. The same electrical system that keeps your heart beating in rhythm. If the potassium drops, the rhythm can flutter. If magnesium is low, the vascular tone gets tighter. And when both are low, the result is instability that shows up as skipped beats, tight chest, or fatigue. You can't explain. Oh, and don't forget insulin resistance. You don't need to be diabetic to suffer from this. Even a slightly elevated fasting insulin level puts stress on your endothelial system, the inner lining of your arteries. That stress builds plaque, narrows vessels, and slows down nitric oxide production. Without that nitric oxide, your vessels can't expand during stress. And when a stressor comes like a glucose dip, emotional spike, or sleep disruption, your vessels stay stiff, and your blood pressure either shoots up or collapses. Then there's your breathing. If you've never tested your oxygen saturation overnight, you're missing a critical health signal. Oxygen should stay above 93% during sleep. If you drop into the 80s for even a few minutes, your heart pumps harder, your brain signals emergency, and your cortisol release. This is why you feel drained in the morning even if you were asleep for 8 hours. Your body didn't rest, it fought all night. And if you sleep on your back, Your tongue position might obstruct the airway. If your nasal passages are inflamed from allergies, or if you breathe through your mouth, you're overusing your chest muscles and underusing your diaphragm. That puts your breathing at a mechanical disadvantage. Over time, your heart compensates until it can't anymore. Let's focus now on your liver. That's the body's overnight filter. Between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m., your liver is in full swing processing toxins, clearing hormones, managing cholesterol production, and balancing glucose. But if you've had a heavy dinner or if your liver enzymes are slightly elevated, even just mildly, that cycle is incomplete. Your body then reroutes resources away from repair and toward defense. That triggers inflammation. Inflammation leads to plaque buildup, and that becomes the ticking time bomb inside your arteries. And what about cholesterol? Most people only track LDL and HDL, but those aren't the full story. What about LP? What about apolipoprotein B? What about oxidized LDL? These are the lipids that harden arteries silently. They don't show up in standard panels, and if they're high, your nighttime blood flow is restricted. Reduced perfusion, less oxygen, higher risk of ischemic events, all while you're unconscious. Let's go deeper into sleep mechanics. Your body needs to enter N3 deep sleep to repair tissue and strengthen memory. But without sufficient GABA, your brain can't descend fully into that state. GABA isn't just a calming neurotransmitter, it's a gatekeeper. It tells your brain, okay, it's safe now. We can rest. But GABA declines with age, and worse, many medications block its function. That includes antihistamines, steroids, and even some antidepressants. So while you may feel asleep, your brain is actually still active, still thinking, still burning energy, still unable to repair. And if you're on a low-protein diet because of kidney concerns or due to poor appetite, that just worsens the issue. Your body needs amino acids to produce serotonin, melatonin, and GABA. If you're low on tryptophan, your melatonin production will be incomplete. That's when you get light sleep, vivid dreams, easy waking, and NO repair. Now combine that with dehydration. Most people over 60 stop drinking water after dinner to avoid bathroom trips. But mild dehydration thickens your blood. It slows lymphatic drainage. It causes nocturnal blood pressure surges. It makes your muscles ache. And it suppresses digestion, so you wake up bloated, sore, and mentally foggy. All of that from simply drinking 2 fewer glasses of water in the evening. And now let's close with something nobody talks about: electrolyte rhythm. Your body operates on an electrical rhythm driven by sodium-potassium pumps. These regulate the charges inside your cells. If sodium is too high, you retain fluid. If potassium is too low, your muscles cramp and your heart races. If calcium is unbalanced, your nerves misfire. But most people never check these. They assume normal diet is enough. It isn't. If you're on blood pressure meds, acid blockers, antidepressants, or even anti-anxiety meds, your electrolyte balance may already be unstable. Yep, that's why some people drop dead in their sleep without any disease diagnosis. Not because their body failed suddenly, but because their system was weakened quietly, for you. Let's break it down even further. Starting with the one routine most people still get wrong: bedtime timing. Your body does not reset based on when you feel sleepy. It resets based on internal circadian clocks set by hormone waves. Melatonin naturally begins rising around 8:30 p.m. and peaks before midnight. If you're still watching TV or scrolling your phone at 10:45 p.m., your brain never reaches optimal shutdown. That delay disrupts your cortisol-melatonin balance. Cortisol should be low during the night. If it's high, even slightly, you can experience sleep disturbances, elevated heart rate, and impaired glucose processing. What does that lead to? More than just poor rest. It causes tissue breakdown, muscle weakness, and immune suppression. And the longer this goes on, the higher your risk for cardiac fatigue, metabolic disorders, and nighttime arrhythmias. That's how just being a night owl becomes a major health hazard over time. Now let's talk posture. Most elders still sleep completely flat, but that position reduces thoracic cavity space. For anyone with even mild heart enlargement or abdominal pressure from bloating or liver congestion, this becomes a silent nighttime battle. Slight incline sleeping, just 10 to 15 degrees, has been shown to relieve thoracic load, reduce reflux, and support more stable breathing rhythm. Yet almost no one uses it. Just because you're used to it doesn't mean your body likes it. And about your dinner, if it's heavy, spicy, high fat, or eaten after 7 p.m., you're disrupting your body's entire repair cycle. Protein should be lean and light, fats should be small, and carbs should be low at night unless medically needed. A typical mistake? Eating fruit or drinking juice late. That spike in blood sugar will crash by 3 a.m., and your body will compensate by dumping cortisol. That's how seniors wake up sweaty, anxious, and unable to return to sleep, not realizing it was their dinner that triggered it. Let's make it even clearer. The human body runs on micronutrient chemistry. If you're low in magnesium, you can't regulate GABA. If you're low in potassium, your heart rhythm loses precision. If you're low in B12, your nervous system weakens. If you're low in zinc, your immune system collapses. And if you're low in vitamin D, your inflammation climbs, your hormones drop, and your healing stops. These deficiencies happen slowly, not overnight, which is why most people never connect the dots. They think aging means tiredness, weakness, bad sleep, poor recovery. No, it means you're unchecked and unprepared. Let's shift now into something most overlook: motion. If you sit most of the day, your venous return from the legs slows down. That blood stagnation creates pressure on your heart to circulate thicker, slower blood during sleep. If your legs feel heavy, swollen, or slightly numb by nightfall, you're likely dealing with poor peripheral circulation. Walking 15 minutes after dinner, even slowly, can significantly reduce that pressure. But sitting on a couch from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. every night, that's a cardiovascular trap. And what about brain health? REM sleep is when your brain cleans itself. Literally, it flushes toxins, resets neurotransmitters, and repairs cognitive damage. But all of this depends on lymphatic flow, which only activates in deep sleep, with proper hydration and stable nighttime breathing. If you snore, breathe through your mouth, or have chronic nasal blockage, you lose that benefit. Slowly, your short-term memory fades, your alertness drops, and eventually, cognitive decline begins, not from age, but from poor sleep architecture. And what drives this all deeper into crisis? Lack of monitoring. Most elders don't track their nighttime data. They rely on feeling rested as the measure of health, but that's not enough. You need to see your oxygen saturation, resting heart rate, pulse variability, and movement patterns during sleep. These indicators tell the real story, but if you're not looking, you'll never catch the problem until it's too late. Let's now address the last layer: restoration. Restoration doesn't happen when you lie down. It begins when the right signals are in place. Signal 1, low light in the evening, dimmer bulbs, no TV, no blue light. Signal 2, stable temperature, neither too cold nor too hot. Signal 3, quiet space, no mechanical humming or sudden noises. Signal 4, light stomach, no digestion battles in progress. Signal 5, emotional calm, no stressful thoughts, calls or arguments. These 5 signals tell the nervous system it's safe to release GABA and serotonin. If one of them is missing, the brain keeps running background stress pattern. Your sleep might be shallow, fragmented, or falsely long without reaching depth. Now let's face the most difficult reality. Many elders don't have someone to monitor or advise them. They rely on old routines or guesswork, and that's where most loss happens. That's where silent decline begins, not with disease, but with misinformation. Misinformation that says, you're fine, you're just aging, or it's normal to feel like this, or that's just what happens after 70. That's not truth, that's laziness. And it costs lives. But what if that didn't have to happen? What if there was a single, safe, drug-free, non-invasive way to calm the nervous system, to guide your body into real recovery, and to help you sleep deeper, safer, longer every night? Because and this isn't a guess, or a maybe, or a trick. This isn't something you try once and forget. This is something elders across the country are keeping by their bedsides, not because it's trendy, but because it works. It's quiet. It's easy. It doesn't require a phone. It doesn't disrupt your habits. And it helps the body reset its rhythm in a natural, science-backed way. This device has already been adopted by people with anxiety, insomnia, and stress-based wake-ups. It's being used in hospitals, clinics, sleep labs, and even by high-performance athletes who need fast recovery. But here's what matters most. It's not a sleep pill. It doesn't change your brain chemistry. It simply tells your nerves, calm now. And when your nerves obey, your whole system falls into place. For elders, this is no longer optional. With sleep decline, rising blood pressure, nutrient loss, and oxygen instability, this kind of support is becoming essential. And once people try it, they refuse to sleep without it. That's the power of something designed to match the human body, not manipulate it.